Hello, I am SquidofLove. Welcome back to our weekly look on the development of Star Citizen. We have a couple of very interesting topics to discuss today. The first one has to do with what else, Alpha 3.0 and procedural planets. This is the update we are all dreaming and waiting for. And the other quite important topic has to do with the Esperia Prowler. It has finally been confirmed and we are gonna get it as a concept sale during the anniversary live stream on November. CI has decided to give us a lot more info on procedural planets, and let us take a much better look on the whole process of creating the planets of Star Citizen. They will be releasing segments every week talking about the planets. They have already started doing this with this week's Around the Verse, with a segment that was focusing mostly on the ecosystems of the planets and how they are created. It is a very interesting process. It is very good to see how much work the developers are doing in order to bring these planets into life, and of course what the whole process looks like from the very first steps when they have created their first procedural planet without atmosphere to the first Delamar planet version, which is depicted in the Planet Pupil clip. According to what the developers have mentioned in this segment, there were 5 only ecosystems on the Homestead demo, the demo that was shown to us during this year's CitizenCon, and it looked marvelous in my opinion. I guess their plan is to have a lot more diversity, a lot more ecosystems around the surface of a single planet, and we can clearly understand how much progress has been done, how this whole process, this whole tech is evolving since there were no diversity and of course no ecosystem variation at the beginning when they start creating the planets in the Star Citizen universe. And what exactly is an ecosystem for a Star Citizen planet? Well, an ecosystem is a piece of terrain that covers 4-8 square kilometers and contains many kinds of assets. It determines how the terrain looks. The developers can use their editor in order to tweak height, where textures belong, and of course which assets belong together and where. In the end they can decide what kind of appearance the surface at a certain area of the planet will have, like if there will be mountains, canyons, dunes, and of course what kind of ground textures and assets will be placed at this certain area or other areas around the planet. When the ecosystems are complete, when the developers have finished their job, they can use their editor in order to paint them on the planet where they think they will suit the environment the most. In that way, the developers can craft the environment and give a unique look at every single planet in Star Citizen, even though they use procedural techniques in order to create them. This is why the planets of Star Citizen are very artist, author and driven, like we have mentioned before in previous videos. For the first time we were also shown a Mars looking planet, and it was quite impressive because it shows that CI has the ability to create different planets and environments, and this is amazing because there will be so many different and unique looking places waiting for us in the verse to explore and discover them. We were also taking a good look on the ocean and clouds realistic behavior. The clouds casting shadows, and this is quite important. They can block the sunlight and create shadows on the landscape, but also what kind of waves we can expect on the ocean. Of course, these 2 features are going to be improved. They are going to keep evolving and become better with more updates. They will become better and better as time passes. And last but not least, we have seen how light on the surface of the planet depends on the sun. Lights and shadows, what you see on the surface of the planet, will depend on where you are in relation to the sun. And this is quite important because it gives realism, it makes the whole exploration, the whole experience realistic, and it will make the whole experience of traveling around the planets in Star Citizen much better. Let's move on now to the Esperia Prowler, which has finally been confirmed, and it will be unveiled on the anniversary livestream on November 18th. It is a very interesting concept, and we have talked about it in our previous video about stealth. It is a boarding ship. The Prowler is a boarding vessel with certain stealth characteristics. The whole idea behind this ship is that it is using techniques in order to remain silent. In a way, the goal of the ship is to reduce its signature so it will not be detected by possible targets, approach an unsuspected vessel, an unsuspected ship, larger ship, and release boarders via EVA so they can capture it and take control of it. According to the Prowler's description, it is a modernized version of the infamous Tevarin boarding craft, and this means that for the first time in Star Citizen, we're going to get a ship with a Tevarin design. This is going to be our first look on this race aesthetic, and I really can't wait for it. They haven't released anything, they haven't unveiled anything about the design, and this is because there is a contest running regarding the Prowler. CI has asked us to design what we think the Prowler will look like, and the winner is going to win a Polaris, but also the first Prowler. 5 more extra accounts will also get a Prowler. It is a very interesting contest. If you would like to participate, the deadline is November 11th, and if you want to have a chance to win a Polaris but also a Prowler, this is your chance, go for it. A certain part from the description of the Prowler is giving us a very good idea of what we should expect. According to the description again, the Prowler's effectiveness as a rapid personnel deployment vehicle was mainly due to its silence. The boarding was constructed using a variety of techniques to minimize its signatures and get close to unsuspected vessels before quickly deploying their boarders via EVA. It is very interesting. I'm very curious to see how the Prowler is going to be designed, how CI is imagining the Prowler. I can only guess that it will probably not have a lot of weapons, it will probably not have anything that will draw a lot of power and that will increase its signatures. I'm really curious to see how a ship like this will be made in order to approach unsuspected vessels like capital ships and release its boarders in order to take control of it. These were the most important news regarding the development of Star Citizen from this week, and don't forget that I'm giving a Mustang Alpha starter package plus 142 combo, and if you would like to participate in the giveaway, just click the card for more details. Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. I am SquidofLove, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.